This past weekend, Princess Auto hosted an Inventors fair. So come along with me on a field trip and let's check this out. The first thing that I saw when I entered was this replica of KITT from the old Knightrider show. This is a local guy building this, and he's done a hell of a job. He's built out the interior, he's incorporated voice command, and he's got a lot more on his YouTube channel about this car. I'll put a link to that up in the top right corner. Right next to it was this 1/12th replica of a cat wheel loader. It is fully remote controlled. It is run hydraulically. You can see the guy in the background with the remote control there. And it can do all the stuff that the full-size version can do. You can see all the RC servos in the cab, and they are actually pulling hydraulic valves manually, mechanically. And the hydraulic pump is run by a little gas engine that's in the back, and even the back lifts up hydraulically. But that wasn't the only front-end loader. This is a smaller one that a guy built for clearing snow away and whatnot, and you can see it can even tow a small trailer behind it. Pretty impressive equipment all around. Quite bare bones, but still does the job. Unfortunately, during his demonstrations, he managed to blow a hydraulic line, so that's where his demonstrations ended for the day. Still, a neat piece of equipment. Another guy built a front-end loader onto his ATV. He didn't have it there because it was too big to bring, but he had some video of it and some pictures and whatnot. It was quite impressive to see. A wide range of stuff. This particular guy is a remote-controlled vehicle that's got a gas sensor on it. So you can drive it into a place that you suspect has explosive gases, and it will send information back out to the laptop that he's got with it. It's also got a camera on it, and it's also got a small display on top of it for when you're setting it up. Of course, not every invention has to be that elaborate. This is just a paint shaking attachment that a guy built for his reciprocating saw. Nice and simple. And he also had this little vice grip attached to a slide hammer for getting really stubborn bolts and oil seals and whatnot removed when you're working on equipment. It's simple. It's an invention that just works and does exactly what he needed it to do. This was interesting. This guy had built a micro welding unit. It's similar to a TIG, but has some other little tricks up its sleeve, and it is designed for working on really tiny things like jewelry. The demonstration that he was giving was welding two little number 6 screws together on their heads. And these things were solidly together just with the 3 or 4 little tacks that he put on them. And it's very much a DIY project like so many things. He even made his own circuit boards and put them together. He said it took him only a couple of days to build one up once he had all the pieces together. This is another guy who had to fly in for the show, so he just brought a bunch of pictures and video of his device. But he's got a YouTube channel, so I will link to that up above, and I'll put a little bit of footage from his channel in. Hope he doesn't mind. Much of the equipment that he used to put it together came from Princess Auto. And the rest of it is just salvaged parts from an old GT Snow Racer toy and a salvaged track-driven snowblower. This guy's taken a couple of fairly standard heavy-duty cargo wagons, added outriggers, built an engine crane onto it, motorized the engine crane. You can see that he's lifting some pretty big equipment. He also built a tandem axle for his wagon train, just 'cause. Which is where a lot of these came from. Combination necessity and just 'cause. This is another one that was too big for him to bring the distance with him, so he just brought a model of it and some video. It is a powered little snow pusher with a trailer behind it. This young guy built a solar rechargeable power station. It's got a battery in there, a solar charge controller, DC outputs, and just a little portable power station. Another snow-related project. This started off as an old 3-point hitch snowblower. He modified it to fit on the front of his skid steer. Because the skid steer didn't have enough hydraulics, he put a motor on it and connected it up that way. He built a remote control panel that he can reach from the cab. It's got an electric clutch on it and belt drive down to a chain drive down below. He said he can run it at full speed of the machine with anything less than 6 inches of snow. He can just go cruise full tilt boogie, which is really impressive. And another necessity is the mother of invention project. This is another one that was too big to bring. It is a large-scale remote control car. And he's also got a YouTube channel. I will put a link to that up above and borrow some of his footage because it's really hard to shoot video off somebody else's screen. But yeah, a very cool project. Lots of welding in that one. This is a machine built by a farmer who grows strawberries. They built it for planting so that people wouldn't have to be bent over out in the sun all day planting. You lie down on the nice padded piece there under the shade. There is solar panels up on top which drive the motors to drive it along, and the two workers just casually go along and plant their strawberries. Very clever. This device is for repelling mosquitoes. It slowly drips citronella oil down into the burner there, but that burner is not actually on fire. It's just using the wicking in it. Underneath is some candles that are heating it up. And those candles are also heating up a little Peltier module, which is powering a fan, which is blowing the citronella oil vapors around the space to, as I said, help keep mosquitoes away. This is a cool little personal tracked vehicle. It is hydraulically run, powered off a gas motor on the back. 2 tracks. You can see the hydraulic motors and chain drive down to the tracks down below. Very solidly built. It looks like it'd go through all kinds of stuff. Looks like it'd be a fun little machine to run around on. Snow, swamp, sand, whatever you got. I think this thing could do it. The what box confused me for a little while, especially since he had plumbed into a picture of an engine. What it is a engine coolant preheater. This guy works in the northern oil patch in Alberta and needed a way to heat up diesel engines to get them going in the morning, so this is what he came up with. Very clever idea. And this curious little machine is for doing shishugibon, which is a Japanese wood finishing technique where basically you char the wood. So this thing has a motor drive that slowly pushes the wood through a repurposed forge, a gas-powered forge, and he sets the gas level, sets the speed of the motors going through to push it through. It has a little water spray or water curtain at the output side to stop the charring, and the little red pieces down on the bottom are little water jets to cool off the rollers so that they don't get overheated and burn the backside of the wood unpredictably. Lots of aluminum extrusion in there. An electronic speed controller for the motor that is driving the friction wheel that pushes the wood through at a controlled rate. And there is sort of the range of char that he can get out of the thing, from a light char to a really deep dark one. Have you ever heard of an all-wheel drive motorcycle? Well, that is exactly what this thing is. Super aggressive tires, but the party trick of it is, as I said, it's all-wheel drive. The chain from the motor goes to the rear wheel, but it also goes up through these extra chains, through a universal joint, and then back down through a couple of chains to a sprocket on the front wheel. The maker was showing me some videos that I couldn't show you because it was on a phone, unfortunately, but this thing can go through all kinds of terrain, as you might expect. And this is a motorized bar stool, essentially. That is a small block Chevy. That is a V8 Chevy on the front of it. Hoosier racing slicks on the back. It's got a transmission and rear end out of a garden tractor. He said because of the gearing in the transmission, it's not the fastest thing in the world. You can spin the tires on it if you really try to, but he tries not to because he doesn't want to tear the rear end out of it. There were a few other things on display that I didn't get good video of, but that was a super fun day out. It was great to meet all these inventors, and they weren't all local. As I said, some of them came in from Ontario. A few of them flew in from various points further away, so they couldn't bring their stuff with them. But yeah, this was great and super inspiring to see all the creative stuff that people were doing. Even though most of it is way outside of my wheelhouse, it is still cool to get inspired by watching other creative people do their thing. Well, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. If there's any events like this in your area, go out and check them out. You'll be impressed and you'll be inspired. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you later.